Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Devin Thomas back with another episode of Unscripted. Welcome back to the show. It's been a good past, week. I've been a little sick, which has kind of sucked. But other than that, I've been, getting after it in every other way I can. What's been going on? I feel like we're settled in. We've hit the 1 month mark here at the new place, the cabin, as I'm calling it. And man, it feels good. It's just been like kind of a reset and a lot of catch up on like sleep for me at least. Like I haven't slept this good in like I feel like years, but it's probably being dramatic. But it's been good sleep. I've been fucking exhausted. I'd honestly say probably since the movie, like probably somewhere around 2024, because I was just so exhausted from like working so hard on making Peninsula Nights, and like every night was like a fucking 18-hour like consciousness, and then fucking fall asleep for like maybe like 4 or 5, and then just wake up the next day and do it all over again. That was for like 8 or 9, probably 10 months straight. I just fucking had this like, unbelievable energy. I couldn't even describe to you how I got it, but like probably a lot of caffeine and just, grit, I guess. But fuck, it's been good fucking getting to catch up on my sleep. It's been good just fucking hanging out around the house. Like honestly, like even just being out here. I talked about this last week. I keep going back to this, but the environment is so important here. I feel like I have just gotten so in tune with like, I wouldn't call it like the circadian rhythm necessarily, but like just like the, pace of life, like being in the countryside, it is different. Like town is like you wake up immediately, like you go down the street, you're at like a fucking 7-Eleven, you're around a bunch of other people. Here it's like a fucking brew a pot. It's a slow morning. I'm watching the turkeys outside and fucking watching the cat watch the fucking birds. It's just it's simple, but in like the best way. It's just way better. And I think it's better for your mind. Like honestly, like the only thing that I've like had that's been like noise pollution is like Laguna Seca. You can hear the races, but it's kind of nice. Like honestly, it's just like, something's going on. And it's like this nice little hum. And I've heard that sound my whole life. So maybe for me it's also familiar. But when you're living out here on like, 68, like you can just, you can always hear it. It's always kind of in the distance in the wind. But yeah, been just fucking enjoying it. It's funny, yesterday, Christine on her birthday got pickleball rackets, and we hadn't made it down to the pickleball courts. And yesterday we even went down there, and like honestly, like even just being able to go and do that, we played for like 2 hours and we were fucking exhausted. But like, I don't know, it's just so much better. Just being able to like have like the amenities and shit here just to fucking go, one. And two, like just the exercise we got with it was so good. Like we're like walkers. Like we walk at night, we fucking do a little swimming here, and then we enjoy the other shit, like I said, hot tub, sauna. But actually fucking getting down into like the pickleball courts was good. We got to fucking play a bunch. Christina never played before, but she was pretty good for her first time. And not only that, like we were like more of tennis players in the past, Stevie and I. And getting, back in the swing of it, like I felt rusty, but like, by the end of the day, I was like, fuck, man, I remember why I love playing tennis so much. It just, I'm not gonna say I'm like good, but I'm gonna say I'm like definitely able to play the game. Like, and I'm sure we'll get better with time, but like just being like able to play a game like well, it makes it just that much better. I actually felt pretty good just because in comparison to like Christine, Stevie and I felt like pros. But no, we're like, halfway decent, enough to play the fucking game, get the ball rolling, and like it's just fun. And it was just such a good workout. Like I like my walks, but I was like, fuck, I just come do this for like 2 hours a day, I'll be good. What else happened? And that's been like a new thing. That was yesterday, and like honestly, we're exhausted. We're all like fucking like stiff and hurting today. We're like, fuck. It's been a minute since we've been out and about like that, like getting fucking super physical and just like being athletic, I'd say, like playing a sport. But anyways, we're looking forward to playing more. And it's also like a nice little hike down. It's like it descends down this mountain to like the basketball pickleball courts. And it's just a good workout. Even the walk. Like this neighborhood, like I kind of said this, it's like a little more geriatric, a little older. But and that's like being respectful. Like I'm not saying like, oh, there's anything wrong with that. But like all these elderly people are in great shape. And I'm like beginning to realize like, oh, it's because like it's just like a walking community. It's a village of homes, and it's just big enough that like everybody has to get to like where they're going by walking, or you could drive. It almost feels like why drive when it's just so close, which is good. And it probably keeps you, functionality wise healthy, but also like I'm saying a lot of older people live here and they've stayed here for their whole life. Maybe there's something to it. Anyways, I digress. Pickleball's been good. Pool's been good. We did have some pool trouble the other night. There was like a fucking Steve and I went down there to hot tub at like 8. And I look, it's always something. Every day there's fucking something. Every day. But we're walking down to the fucking pool and we see these cars drive by us. We're like, gonna give them a wave. We go down to the pool. We're pulling off the top of the hot tub, and like the same cars that like they kind of drove through the neighborhood came back right down to the pool. And I was like, dude, maybe we should just go. Cause it was like a family with like, they had like 4 or 5 kids. And then there was like this other guy. Stevie and I put it together. We actually know this other guy. We don't even know if he fucking lives here, but it was just ridiculous. Like he came and they tried to pretend like he didn't know us. And I was like, yeah, you definitely don't live here. Cause like I haven't seen you. I've seen his like social media. Cause he's like one of these people I know. This just sounds so ridiculous, by the way. It sounds like we're putting together like this, whatever. It's just like, it was so obvious. I'm like, oh, I know you. And we both were like, it's that guy. And he doesn't even live here. You know, he's like a sheriff in another county. It's like, okay, bro. Like, one, how'd you get in here? And then 2, like you come, like you see us getting ready to go into this fucking hot tub and you bring down your whole family and then like literally don't even say hi. Kind of like literally made us uncomfortable. And it's like, dude, like they have like kids. It's like, I'm not trying to be like hot tubbing and have somebody's fucking, kids fucking, trying to hop in. It's just weird in my opinion. So like, I'm just like, no, fuck that. Like, I don't want to even be down at this like pool. I feel like I'm invading their family time. You get what I'm saying? And it's just like, damn, like I kind of just like 8 o'clock at night. We want to tub and sauna and fucking go to bed. Like, it's so funny. It's like these little things that just keep fucking, they're like, it's so fucking petty. It's like first world problems, but it's been going on. I guess it's just because there was so much, like we literally like talked to the HOA. They're like, no, like it's a fucking huge problem. Cause like here's the deal. These people were there, right? And then as we're walking, we see them just drive out of the neighborhood. And it's like, dude, you guys literally came here just to use this fucking pool. You don't even fucking live here. Why are you here? And now we have like an inside joke about the guy who it is. I won't say his name out of respect for his privacy, but like, it's just like, dude, like find your own pool, and don't come at 8 o'clock at night when people are trying to fucking chill. Like also, like I was literally about to like, fucking light up a joint, which, it's not something I want to do around like a family environment. And anyways, it's just funny because it's like, I can't even do this one little thing I want to do without this fucking, potentially offending somebody, 1, and 2, like maybe offending somebody who doesn't even fucking belong here. Anyways, it's been funny. We've been going not back and forth, but we've been just like having this issue. It's ongoing. But to be honest, all the other perpetrators, if you want to call it that, haven't come back. I think they broke the hot tub and bounced. And this new thing, I think it might have been a one-off. We did see the kid driving through the neighborhood again. He like tried to wave this time. I'm like, yeah, buddy. It's like, like when you see the meme and it's like when you see people from high school at like the grocery store and you like look the other way. It's like, I get it, but it's like too, like, yeah, grow up. Hey man, yeah, nice to see you. You don't need to be like scared. The reason I think this motherfucker was scared is because he knew he didn't belong there. Simple as that. And I think he saw us and it's like, here's the deal. When Stevie and I are together, it's like, oh, it's the Thomas brothers. It's very easy to be like, that's them, people don't forget. And like, also it's like, it's when somebody from like, your elementary school or like middle school, whatever, high school days, it's like, bro, I'm definitely not fucking forgetting you. Like we had fucking math together, bro. So anyways, just funny. It was actually just funny because like once we figured out who like this person was, we're like, dude, this is ridiculous. Anyways, we also had another incident. Like I said, like there's not been a boring day here in the fucking neighborhood. We had to get our Starlink satellite installed. I actually forgot because we had Starlink out on the porch, like propped up with like a fucking Coors Light can. It was perfectly flat, great signal, perfect internet. I actually fucking didn't even care that it was just out there. I'm like, fuck, I guess just leave it out there. We don't need to mount this thing to our roof. But it's like, I don't know. It's like a Tuesday morning at like 7 a.m. I hear like someone ring the door and I'm like, who the fuck is here? Christine and I both like went to the door. She like got up too and she's like, hey, like, did you hear that? I'm like, yeah, I did. And like, we look around the corner and I'm like, all right, it looks like a fucking kid. And we're like, all right, I guess I'll get it. I answer the door. And this guy's like, hey, I'm here to do Starlink installation. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, they didn't tell us. Like, it's like, I guess you're here. So I was like, sure, dude, 1 minute. Kid waits. I wake up Stevie. I'm like, bro, you need to fucking come here because like you know what you want with it. Like he's way more like not anal, but he knows exactly like he doesn't want somebody to do something to the house. And I'm like, dude, I get it. Like you tell him exactly what you want. And he did. Stevie told him like, hey, do not drill through here, drill through here. This is like the right spot to drill through. Even on the Starlink, like when they give you the satellite, it tells you like this is how you fucking drill it in through this piece. I can't remember the name of the part, but drill it in through here, not through like any structural shit. So Stevie's like, all right, man. He like trusts the kid. And Stevie's sitting in like the solarium and he's watching this kid drill. And he's like, damn, like I could hear it in my room too. I was just like, damn, it's like drill is so loud. And Stevie said he's sitting there and he looks up and he just sees this fucking drill bit coming through like our main beam. And Stevie's like, what the fuck? He like knocks on the glass. He's like, dude, stop. And the kid's like, oh. And Stevie goes out there. He's like, bro, you just drilled through like the fucking supporting beam. And he's like, huh? He's like, yeah. He's like, I was wondering. It was like a 10 or 12 inch like piece of wood. And Stevie's like, dude, why did you drill through here? He's like, we just had this conversation. Drill through this top part. And literally, like, there's no way he could have fucked this up. Like, you could see like where the satellite that's currently there, they have like a dish, the hole with the wire going through, right? And it was like beyond the shadow of a doubt obvious. He could have probably fucking just taken that other satellite off and ran it through there. He didn't even have to really drill his hole. He made it hard for himself. But anyways, Stevie goes out there and he's like, dude, you just drilled through my supporting beam. He goes, yeah. He's like, I tried to drill the first time. I hit like a bolt. I'm like, dude. And he goes right below it and he tries to drill through. He drilled through. I'm like, at what point, 10 or fucking 12 or maybe 5 inches into this motherfucker, did you realize you're in the wrong piece of wood? It's an 1.5 inches thick. Also, like, what's rich about this too is there's like other electrical shit there. From inside, you can see like the fucking top of the ceiling where like there's like an electrical box to like plug in a dish or plug in like say like the Starlink satellite, right? And it's like, dude, you literally fucking you fucked this up. You just drilled through the support beam, which is like it's an important part of the house. Like, and look, he was young. We didn't beat him up too bad, but I literally was just like, dude, like, not only did we tell you, we had 2 people tell you, like, hey, like, Stevie and I were both like, hey, this is where it goes. And then you drill through the wrong spot. And then, like, I don't know. It's just like, he said he was like kind of cocky when he came. He's like, I've done hundreds of these. I'm like, okay, sure, fuck it. You know, I trust you. And he's like, well, this is your 101st because this was a fucking first mistake, I guess. But anyways, I digress. It's just annoying. I don't want to sound like a bitch, but like that was super fucking annoying because it's like we had to get like this guy is working on the house next door to us and like it's kind of like the neighborhood contractor. And he's like, dude, like I'll fix it. But he's like, this is a serious like fuck up. And anyways, like here's a good thing. Starlink installation guy's boss, it was just like, dude, just send me the invoice. Super cool about it. Hopefully he doesn't have any, whatever, doesn't want to do it or something in the end because we don't have any fucking problems. But it's like, yeah, it is like a big deal. Also, like it was just like, I don't know, like the kid like it was just so fucking obvious. I will stop bitching about the Starlink thing, but it was a little bit of a disaster. It was a little bit of a bummer. Yeah, it was just annoying, dude. It was just fucking annoying because like it didn't have to happen. And now we had this hole and now it's getting filled, but it's just like, it's structural. So you don't want any problems. Also, it's like, here's the deal. This is what made me even more mad. This house has been here for like 35, 38 years. No problems. This guy comes in 5 minutes, fucking drills a hole through like a almost 40-year-old support beam. And it's like, bro, like, why? Why do you hate this house so much? Anyways. God damn. It's hot today. You can feel it. I'm fucking parched as shit. Yeah, so that was annoying. We also had this guy come and deliver our appliances. It was so funny. So one more gripe. Okay, I promise. These appliances get delivered. Finally, we have technology in our house. We have the washer and dryer. The guy shows up and he's like, I'm going to install the washer and dryer first. He's installing the washer and dryer. This fucking guy doesn't have like the dryer tape. And he tells me, I don't have the tape. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to install it. I'm like, bro, like, you got one job. You bring it in, you plug it into the wall, you tape it up, it works. And I literally said, like, hey, like, I will drive to Ace right now and get it. Just fucking please, like, don't leave. So, like, Christine and Stevie stay here, and I'm like, I'm going to go to Ace. Oh, before that, he installed the fridge. We had a fridge. They took it. They put our fridge in, right? The new fridge. And this guy, like, put the handle on upside down. Like, there's, like, the side that's flush, and then there's a side with, like, the, I don't know, what do you call it? The fucking Allen wrench. Anyway, it's just annoying. It's like aesthetically, just like it's all you can see is the fucking holes now. And like, look, like maybe I'm OCD, but like visually, it's not very pleasing. And it's just like, fuck, man. Like, you have to know if you've installed so many because this guy has come to my house like twice. Also, on the fridge door, when we bought the other fridge, I think I told you the doors open into the wall. They were like those. So we got one that opens this way out, doesn't hit the wall anymore. Problem solved. But when he got here, he's like, you want it on this side? I'm like, bro, you would like delivered the last one. I get you probably do a lot of these, but I was like, you literally told me like, get one that opens the other way. Like we talked about it. Anyways, it was just funny. Like he must have just been fried because he did not like his common sense was off. But anyways, I digress. It was just annoying. I had to drive to fucking town, get all this shit. I'm a team player. I did it right away. I was like, let's do it. But I don't know. It's just sometimes people make you wonder, But anyways, appliances are in. It's nice. We have ice. We got fucking a fridge we don't have to walk out into the garage to go to. It's the little things. I know these sound like fucking, oh, whatever, problems, but it's just like, dude, it really is annoying. Also, dishwasher, thank God. I was so fucking sick of washing dishes by hand. I had like also like the half the counter is just a drying space for dishes. And it's just like, dude, like maybe I want to cook in this space. Maybe I don't want to just drying pans right here. So, anyways, we got it all handled. The house is fully functioning. Also, we got these like smaller laundry machines. Like the last house I had these like nice LG stackables, a fucking full tech, but they took forever to do laundry. Like, despite being like top of the line, I was always like, kind of fucking, takes all day to do 3 loads of laundry. We got these new like minimal machines, like the white laundry machine. We really bought them not because we didn't like the other tech, because we were familiar with that. We got them because the laundry space is old and it's small, and it was like, the house is older, so it's a laundry space meant for older machines. So we had to get these smaller machines. But these little fucking white, like generic looking, like universal machines, dare I say, like apartment style, laundry machines, dude, they are incredibly fast, and they fucking like they clean good. Like, I'm surprised. Sometimes I wonder if like, the more minimal shit is actually better. It's just like you get sold on like the aesthetic or the technological like advancements of like a nice fridge. Like, oh, you can custom set this or that. And like we got this like fucking like not generic, but it's a nice like Bosch fridge, but like it doesn't have like the water panel or anything. Excuse me. It's just like, it's probably the biggest fridge I've ever had, because I'm used to like a nice little counter depth, like fucking folding fridge. But like, no, this thing's insane. Like, it feels huge. It functions good. It's got the pull out drawer, which like, look, I've heard people say like the drawer's annoying, the drawer's good, the drawer's bad. It does ice. I'm happy with it. It's freezing our stuff. But yeah, everything's working. All that shit works. It works great. It's good to be able to do laundry again. I'll tell you what, it was getting fucking just kind of like dirty, not being able to do your laundry. It's no good for anybody. You got to be able to do your laundry at least like every 3 days. That's like my thing. And like, dude, I remember when I had super minimal wardrobe. I'm talking like 3 outfits. I just kind of had like my going out, my at home, and then my sleep. And like, I just fucking like would wash it every day. Just throw it all in there. I'm like, fuck it. Why not? There's something nice about that too. Anyways, let's stop talking about the fucking appliances. Appliances are in. It's nice. It's nice. 1 second. Fucking thirsty. I'm like dehydrated. You know what's funny? I think it's because I've been taking this like not Dayquil, Alka-Seltzer like pills and like the decongestants and shit. And dude, they like literally make you like your mouth is just like fucking dry. I hope I don't need to get another bottle of water. Like, I'm straight up fucking parched. And you can hear it. My voice is a little scratchy, but I'd hate to not do the pod even if I don't feel 100%. I'm sure you can tell I don't feel 100%, but like, I digress. Anyways, that's probably why I'm so fucking thirsty. I just realized it. Been hot tubbing a lot. The hot tub addiction's growing. Despite people being down there, whatever. Like, there's other people too that are down there. They're chill. They're just like neighbors. You can tell they're neighbors. You're like, oh hi, and they're just fucking minding their own business. But like when we go to the hot tub at night, usually it's pretty much just us. And dude, the hot tub's addicting. There's something about hot tubbing, getting out, taking like a fucking shower, and then getting right into the sauna. It's just like magical, dude. And like after the sauna, you literally are just ready to like pass out, ready for bed. Might be the best way to fall asleep. It's just like, because you overheat while you're in the sauna, right? But like something about it, just like, it's like when you fucking are in a warm bed, but you're not. You're just in a fucking hot ass room. It's magical. So that's been nice. That's like the other like indulgent thing I've been doing this week. Yeah, I did have one of my buddies stop by this week too, Kevin. My buddy Kevin stopped by to check out the house and just catch up. Honestly, it'd been a minute since I'd seen him. Honestly, I think the last time I saw Kevin might have been at the Peninsula Nights premiere. I remember when we shot the movie, we had a good old time out at Rustique off River Road, and like, oh dude, I remember Kevin and my other buddy Daniel. They stayed till the end of the night, but yeah, man, I hadn't seen him in a minute, and seeing him at the premiere was great. Like, he's just one of those dudes that like it doesn't matter how much time's passed, it's always good to fucking see him, and we always pick up right where we left off. And anyways, he came over to chill. We had a great conversation. He got a Tesla. It was actually pretty dope. I can't remember what model it was. I want to say like the 3 or something. But dude, I haven't really seen like I know people with Teslas. I've never driven a Tesla, but like seeing his Tesla is one of the newer models. Like, dude, this thing looks fucking great. Like, super cool. The customization was cool. He's telling me how like you can like get a desk like built in for it. So when you're auto driving, like there is like you can go on his like computer and shit. I'm like, dude, you know what? Like it seems so crazy, but like this is like the safety and then also like the emerging technology aspect of it. Like I think a few years ago, let's just say it was more emerging. Now it's like he's not the first person to tell me they use this like auto drive feature or like, let the car drive itself, whatever you want to call it, self-driving mode. And it's like, damn, like maybe that is where shit's headed in general. I personally like to be in control of the vehicle, but like I also haven't driven a car that drives for you, right? And I don't know. He even told me he's like, even traveling, he's like, it's just so much better. He's like, it drives better than me. He's like, I don't have to worry about like the exhaustion of actually driving. He's like, I can get work done. You know, there's a lot of pros about it that I saw, and I was like, fuck, like I haven't been doing like very many like long haul journeys in the past few like years. Not like I used to. Like, sure, we'll go to LA and stuff, but like I haven't been putting like the miles I was on like my cars in the past, like going on like vacations or traveling, just not the same way. And I was thinking about, like, it would be a great way to travel, and also, like, if for, like, just local commuting, sure. Like, dude, you just, like, charge it up, which was nice. He said he also got, like, a free year of charging, which is, like, think about this. You're paying for the car, but you got a free year of just, like, refilling up your car, like, for even electrical. You don't have to worry about it. You're like, fuck it. Charge it up, And you can charge pretty much anywhere, I think, whatever the Tesla program is. But he told me he's also gonna try and, like, drive cross country, which I was like, it's crazy, but he's like, when you drive across country, you get more of the little points you unlock, right? On, like, the map, you can see, like, the other chargers, but he's like, you also, like he doesn't have to pay. Not really. I mean, aside from, like, whatever the payment is on the car, right? He doesn't have to pay to, like, do these charges for, like, this time, and it's like, fuck it. Basically a free road trip if you think about it, with the exception of hard costs already, like, baked in. But anyways, it was very interesting. It also had, like, some customization. He was able to make, like, the sounds change when he locked it. It was funny. It would, like, lock. It did, like, a farting noise. Like, it's just, there is something that's like, wow, like, it is like a car that is not limited in the sense of like, hey, like, this is what you get. And like, there's something nice about a car where it's just like, hey, this car has this type of horn, or like, there's like things like, and you're familiar, especially with like say BMW or Mercedes, there's familiar aspects to it every time. And I'm sure Tesla has those familiar aspects, but you're able to also get a car that you're able to like customize, which I think is something that like, I wouldn't call it like a bespoke version of your Tesla just for you, but like you can add little things that make it feel like it's your personality to some extent, which is kind of cool. Even inside his car, he had like the lighting, and I'm sure he like custom set that lighting. Just very interesting. So my mind's been open to maybe potentially getting one of those cars in the future. I'm not sure if that's a car I'm like got my eye on right now. It definitely made me like look twice. I was like, damn, Tesla seems kind of cool. But I mean, we'll see. There is also like, I'm not like a doomsday or like a prepper type myself, but like, I think gas is good when you need to get somewhere in case there's an emergency or something. I would never want to be dependent on like a car that could possibly not like work without certain elements like the electrical charge. But come on, like, and the chances that you're going to be in that scenario are low. Uh, but not zero, right? Anyways, it was good catching up with Kevin. It's funny, one last thing too. We took a walk to the pool just to show him, like, we did a little walk around the neighborhood. We come back up. On our way up, we ran into my neighbor, Harvey. Actually, before that, Kevin pointed out that these trees that are all in the neighborhood are pepper trees. I didn't know that, but he's like, grab it, and we like crushed it up and smelled it, and literally like black pepper, a little sweeter than a regular black pepper, but it never occurred to me that these were pepper trees. So we grabbed it and like smelled it. I'm like, wow. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I lived off a ranch and they had a bunch of these fucking trees. Didn't know that. Anyways, we smelled some of these like pepper trees, and we like walk forward, and like we see my neighbor Harvey, and like I've kind of talked about Harvey last week. He's a nice guy. He's older, but he just loves to, have a chat. And like we ran into him, and he was telling us talked to us about, he thought we were going on the trails. I introduced him to Kevin, and then like, we're just talking to him. He told us how he got scammed on the internet. And he's just like, I bought a new TV and they fished me. They basically sent him an email saying like, set up your new television program. And they ended up like getting all of his info. And like, he got fucked from what he told us. He's like, I got screwed. He's like, my niece told me that, hey, like, Uncle Harvey, like they got you bad. So hopefully he's fine. Nobody wants to see an older gentleman get scammed. But my point more so is that like, he was telling us what he's telling us about it was so funny. He's just like, he's like, my nephew works on a computer. And like, he just said it, and we all were holding back laughter, because it was just like, for him, he's just like, the computer is still something that he thinks is like, I mean, he's old. He's not the oldest guy in the world, but I think he thinks like, wow, like working on a computer. He's a teacher. So I think he thinks like when you have a job, like he's asked me so many times what I do. I'm like, hey, dude, I do a lot of things, but working on my computer is like kind of one of my main things, and he can just not wrap his head around the fact that like we don't really leave the house that much. We do leave to go and like do some like real world shit that we have to do for like, real estate or whatever, like other like land management stuff. But when it comes to most days, like we're at the house and like he'll just go and knock me like, hey, what are you guys up to? And it's just like, computer work, really. But it's funny. So we're talking to him and like we're all about to bust up laughing. He's just a sweet old guy. He's not trying to be funny. It's unintentional. And then he starts telling us about how there's like this like pear farm that the people that own the land here planted down below by like the tennis courts. And he's like, hey, like they're gonna be ripe soon. He's like, you guys should go get them. And like he's telling us how like much money we'll save. He's like, they're like $1 a pair if you go to the store. And then Kevin's just like, I think it's like $3 a pair, man. Like I guess that's like the going rate. And then he was like, well, if you go down there, he's like, I mean, they're like the best pears. He's talking about, and Kevin was trolling him. Kevin's being nice, but he's like, hey man, like you want to buy some off of us if we go down there? And he's just like, oh no, no. And then we're like, dude, no. Like Kevin's like, hey, we'll go down there and we'll get them for you, And he's like, oh, that'd be great. He's like, if you go down, he's like, yeah, I used to go down and get them and give them out to people in the neighborhood. And I was like, it's actually like Kevin said, he's like, it'd be a good idea to fucking welcome yourselves to the neighborhood. Kind of like, hey, like we went and picked the like, these legendary neighborhood pears to share the wealth with all of our great neighbors, right? And I actually think it's a great idea. We were going to go yesterday because we went to go play pickleball, and then my parents were here and then they left, but my mom wanted to go down and get them with us, and we had like bags and shit ready, but it must be a good haul. He said he got 70, and he said he had like 2 baskets. He's like, all he could carry. And I'm like, well, fuck, these must be like, he also said these trees are like 30 years old. So it's interesting to me that a 30-year-old tree is still producing like so much fruit. I guess it's like maybe just obvious, but like, I don't know, you think a tree has a lifespan or like a period of like maturation that like it hits and it just doesn't fucking grow fruit anymore, but these are still fruit bearing. And we were gonna go yesterday, but we decided to wait. So maybe we'll go today, honestly. We had a bunch of fucking like Knob Hill bags double bagged up just to go down there. And I don't know. Here's the thing too, like pears, they sound great, but like I'm not even that big of a pear guy. Maybe I'll turn into a pear guy because of these fucking like, they sound like the forbidden fruit. It sounds like the Garden of Eden. Like the way he described them, like Harvey is like, it's the best pears I've ever had. And we're like, fuck man, we gotta go down there and get these pears. But yeah, what else have I been up to? All right, one last thing. I've been out at this fucking ranch that we've had listed and we've been managing. And dude, we were out there the other day, maybe a month ago now, and we saw some kittens, right? And we've seen the mom cat, but now like we've been feeding them, right? We've been leaving food because we're like, fuck, like there's nothing on this ranch. Like the first time I saw the mom cat, she was like hunting for mice. I'm like, dude, they're desperate. So we went and got a feeder, went and got some like cheap meow mix. We're like, fuck it, something's better than nothing. And we've been feeding them, but dude, like it's been a mission. We've been trying to like get the cat's trust, right? I think, and because I know those conditions out there are like shit, we're gonna try and like live catch these cats and like extract them, maybe bring them out to our house, get them to a vet, checked on. But it's just been funny, Christine and I and Stevie were out there. We were walking around and like there's this old minivan on the ranch that's just like the door won't shut. Somebody left it here. This is like a foreclosure. So, and this thing's old and it'd beat to fuck. Inside though, like we were like we saw the cats get in there and we saw like a kitten in there. We almost got it. We were gonna grab it and just take one. And then we kind of felt bad. We're like, let's try and get them all at once. But it was just funny because these cats have like, as elusive as they are initially, they've kind of grown to like get more comfortable because they know we're the food source now. I think they're kind of growing to trust us. But no, it's just been I don't know, we just feel bad for them. We just want to get them out of there. They're not in the best of, like I said, not the best of conditions. And also like, dude, I got a soft spot for cats, especially with Princess, it's like, I couldn't imagine. I tell her every time I come home, I'm like, dude, it could be so much fucking worse. Like these cats were sleeping in like a fucking, an old truck. It's gross, And they're like baby cats. Like the mom, we named her Friendly because she is kind of nice. We fed her like a chicken stick the other day. And look, I don't think it's good to feed cats food they're not supposed to eat, but it's like we had it. Like it's like, like a fucking chomp style chicken fucking flavored stick. I was like, fuck it. Who knows what she's eating out here? That was kind of how we gained her confidence. And now she's cool. But the kittens, they're tiny. They're scared. I mean, I'm talking like, I don't know, a couple weeks old. They're just little babies. But I want to get them out of there. I want to save them. 1 second. We'll get into movies here. Oh my God. This cold medicine, I'm telling you, that's it. It is just, even my lips feel fucking chapped. My throat's scratchy. I feel bad. I feel like I sound like shit. And I hope it doesn't fucking affect the podcast. I don't think it will, but you know what I mean? Like, I sound like shit. I can hear it in my voice. And I felt like shit. Like, I don't usually get sick. I've probably gone like, I would say maybe 2 years without getting like even the common cold. And this like actually sucks. Like, I can feel it like right here. And like, I just feel groggy. I had like fucking 2 cups of like strong ass Colombian coffee this morning. And I felt like the like buzz, but it didn't get me out of that level of fucking fog and haze that I'm feeling. And that has been truly fucking annoying. Like, I just want to be at 100%. Everything has been good. There's forward momentum, but like this today, I'm feeling it. I think this is the worst thing about it. I will say this though, taking the medicine, like I was able to go down there and pickleball out like nothing. And then when it wears off, you feel it. But I think it'll come to pass. I think I'm in like the last 2 days of this thing because I don't know how much longer it could go on. Excuse me. Also, Christine had like the cough with it. Thankfully, I haven't had the cough, but I just have like honestly just the feeling of being sick, which is like even worse. I mean, I take the cough, at least I can get some drops and not feel like, or not cough drops. Yeah, cough drops. And like, you know, look, I'm like one of those people too. Like, I don't like pharmaceutical drugs, but like over the counter shit, like just fucking drug me up. Like, I don't want to feel sick at all. Also, if you are ever feeling fucking like you have the cold or like runny nose, sick, there's all these fucking things. Dayquil, sure, Dayquil's fine. I used to be a Dayquil guy, not anymore. Alka-Seltzer Cold Plus, or like any of the Alka-Seltzer, like fizzy fucking night and day. I don't know how many they say to take in a day. Probably like don't take more than 4. Sometimes I take fucking 6. I will get through a sickness and I will not feel a fucking thing. That is like a miracle drug. If you are sick, take that shit. Also, if you're hungover, just get regular Alka-Seltzer. I haven't been hungover in a long time, but like when I did drink more Alka-Seltzer, I'd see it in movies. That's why I would do it. I'd see like somebody and like the typical, like, you know, the drunk after, you know, morning after. And I was like, "Well, that must work." And to be honest, like it's generic, but it works. You know, maybe it's just universal in that case that everybody did it for a reason. Anyways, I digress. Fuck being sick. Nobody wants to be sick. While I was sick, though, I did get the chance to watch some really great movies this week, and let's get into that. One more sip. I'm sorry. I'm just. This doesn't make for much of a show, in my opinion. This guy fucking coughing and taking sips of water. But look, I didn't want to let the people down. I wanted to make sure everybody got to hear from me this week. When we get one more sip, and like I promise, we'll get into these fucking movies. 1 second. Oh my God. I'm dying over here. Okay. The first movie I'm going to talk about that I watched this week was Hokum, 2026. It's written and directed by Damian McCarthy. The DP is Narian Van Mayel, starring Adam Scott, Peter Coonan, David Wilmot, and Florence Ordesh. I don't have the characters' names listed here on this outline, but let's just go with Hokum. Hokum 2026. Adam Scott's the star. He plays a writer who is famous for his like he's got novels. I guess he writes like fiction. And he is going around Ireland. It seems as if he's almost on tour or like visiting place to place. And he ends up at this hotel that his parents, I believe, spent their honeymoon or like where they got engaged, right? And anyways, his parents are Irish. He is an American Irish guy. And that's why he came back. And he's just a complete dick. His character is awful. His name's escaping me at the time, but the character's an asshole. And basically he's there to like scatter his parents' ashes, right? Where they met. That's where they wanted it to be. And we don't know this, but like he's being awful to everyone around him, even the people that want to be fans. Finally he talks to somebody and he kind of tells them why he's there. And people are like, oh, okay, so he's here to do that. And then after he scatters the ashes, he's at the bar. He's just a complete jerk off. He's just like, you know, rude to everybody and even the staff. And then they go to check on him in his room because like one of the staff members was like, something's off. Like he was really weird and he left all of his shit at the bar. She's like, I'm gonna go bring it to him and check on him. When they go in there, it looks like he tried to kill himself, right? And anyways, he ends up surviving. He's in the hospital, but the girl who found him has disappeared. And like, I won't ruin it for you. I think that's like a good setup for like what the movie is. But like, he sticks around the hotel because he wants to look for the girl that helped him. And there's also at the hotel, like there's like a floor that you can't go to. They say it's haunted. They say there's a witch on this floor. Um, the movie is like a mystery kind of atmospheric horror with folklore mixed in. There's a lot of like psychological elements to it as well, where like you don't know what's real or what's fake. I won't ruin it, but Adam Scott eventually thinks he's gonna go into this forbidden floor to look for the girl who's missing. And from there he kind of has his own psychological battle paired with like actual like trying to find the victim and or like what's going on at this place. Hokum doesn't explain itself fully, which I think is a good thing. It leaves a lot up for the viewer to like kind of like determine or make up in their mind. But like for an original horror story that has like, kind of ghost tale elements with also like, true crime elements, I thought it was really good. I was refreshed because when it started, like you just think like, fuck, like, is this gonna be this movie with this asshole the whole time? And then it really gets you with like that big moment in the beginning. And from there on, it's just it really like you get sucked into the movie and it's a fucking like it's a good ride. I think it's a little under 2 hours, but like we watched it twice. We've rented it. I almost regret renting it and not buying it now because it's something that I would just throw on. That's that type of horror movie. We're like, you know what? And it was spooky at first. There's definitely some jump scares and shit, which like I'm not necessarily a huge fan of jump scares for the sake of, which there definitely were some that were just there to like raise the hair on your fucking neck. But it was original. Also, like I do have some bias towards it because it was shot in Ireland. I think it was actually shot. I think Anthony told me it was shot in Cork, so it was shot like close to where we were at. The only thing I told him that was unrealistic about this movie is the fact that they make the Irish people like so snippety at the hotel in the beginning. I'm like, dude, like no fucking Irish person would ever act this way, especially to like an American. I'm not saying Americans get like entitlement or special privileges. They wouldn't want to represent Ireland that way. And I thought that was the only unrealistic thing about the movie because Irish people are extremely fucking nice. Like I've never met one guy that was kind of like a jerk off. And it's like, dude, he wasn't even that mean. He's just like average American jerk. But I digress. I thought that was funny because we we thought it was just like, well, at least Stevie and I thought it was ridiculous. I was just like, dude, like, come on. Other than that, though, the movie's a 10 out of 10. All the other actors were great. Supporting cast was great. A movie, just like, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin it. You usually go into like the narrative, like review of it. Go watch Hokum if you haven't seen it. It was spooky, but it was fucking great payoff. Great movie. Very good. Also, Adam Scott, like, is an incredible actor. On that note, it's funny because he's able to do such funny roles like his stepbrother stuff or like and maybe he's moved past that like part of his life the humor, but as a serious actor he's actually really like he's very engaging. Like there's some people you want to keep watching on the screen like Tom Cruise. He's very good at even serious acting. You like there's something like you're just like this guy is interesting to watch. I would say the same for like Leo DiCaprio. We just watched Inception last night and it's just like you can't there's something about their performance that's so genuine and authentic. You're just like, yeah, I buy into it. Adam Scott in this movie, I'm just curious to see where he goes with his career. I know Severance is more of a serious tone, but I'm curious to see if he gets into like movies and like lives past that Parks and Rec era even furthermore. Especially in cinema, which is like I like television, but cinema is its own thing. And this movie is not like Oscar bait type movie. Maybe Hokum will get some attention, but I think more so the fact that like it was serious in tone, and Adam Scott was like he's very believable in the roles he was playing. So his authenticity and truth that he like puts out in the film, in my opinion, is like half the reason the movie is really good. Maybe not half, but a good fucking percentage of it is riding on Adam Scott's, shoulders. He's just a very interesting actor to watch. And that's like the most important thing. It's not so much about like, oh, this guy's like a pretty boy or this guy's this or that. It's the fact that he's able to captivate the viewer and make you care about him. And this movie was really good for him. I think it was an excellent choice. I don't know if somebody got in his ear or if he chose this because he wanted to do this movie, but it was an excellent fucking choice for him. I think career wise, horror is interesting because we've been talking so much about the next thing to make. And like, I really think horror, like I've talked and I've had so much soul searching about this, but horror, like we love horror movies or thriller movies, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, fuck it. Like if we love them so much, let's just make one. Let's make something we'll watch all the time. That's where we're at. And I want to watch something that, uh, you know, is engaging to me as much as like it would be if I was watching somebody else's work. And that's kind of like the new bar we've set. So I know I've talked about what I'm going to make next so many times, but I think like I talked about it last week, it's kind of this undisclosed idea. When I get closer into production, I'll start talking about it. But Yeah, I think that's kind of where things are feeling like they're going. I think I got the right outline done yesterday. Stevie and I talked about the idea a bunch, but I do think like I've found an outline that makes the most sense for the idea to go with the concept. Because the concept's great. It's, easy. But it's just there's so much more to that. Making a movie also, like we talked about, like we were like, we're gonna make fucking 10 movies a year. Like making a movie is so fucking hard. Like it's so much work, so much time, so much energy. And I think we didn't have blind confidence. We definitely had like proper ego when it came to making movies. But it's just like I think it's just better to just like focus. Like we've had so much time to think post Peninsula Nights. Like let's just make something that's going to be like what we want to make, and that we think will be successful because we like it, not just for the sake of like that would be good to make because like no, like we're doing it, and we never had to do anything on anybody else's like direction or tab. But like we're just making something that simply we want to have like made. Like even Encounter, like I wanted to make an alien movie. I kept telling Steve like aliens. Like honestly, like I love Encounter. I think it's one of our better short films. And short films are also great. I'll probably start shooting more shit. It's just like, dude, I was so exhausted from moving. I've been sick. I mean, I have the camera out. Literally, like the camera that I'm shooting this on is the same shit I go out and fucking shoot on. And it's just like I fucking just it's not like it's not out. I'm ready to go shoot. We're ready to do some fucking cool things. We figured a lot of things out lately that have just been like good. Anyways, Hokum, 10 out of 10. Go see fucking Hokum on streaming if you can. I don't know if it's out anywhere yet, maybe Peacock, but I bought it. Like I said, I rented it, but totally rent it. Totally worth it. Even buy it if you want to fucking keep it. Honestly, for $10, whatever, you can just own it, and I think it's way worth having. The other movie I watched this week was called Lost, 2004. Now, this is a television movie. I didn't know that when I was watching it, made for TV, but it's Dean Cain and Darren Lemke's Lost, and it's not the TV show Lost. This is a different, fucking movie. Anyways, it's kind of about this guy who works at a bank and like you don't know it. He's like traveling on the road and you think he's fucking, just taking a road trip. And he's kind of out in the cuts and he seems like he's lost, like out in the desert. And he's driving from like California to Nevada. And he's out in the desert and like is very 2000s. He calls like OnStar. Like you remember OnStar, you like call it and you can talk to the person. They're like, we'll tell you where to turn. Like it's like, your own fucking driving assistant. They're looking at the map for you. It's all pre-iPhone. That's how we used to do it, believe it or not. A road trip. Sometimes we just call OnStar on a road trip to be like, hey, like, we never use this feature. Let's see what they have to say. And then when you needed it, it did help. You could also like call like if you got in an accident, you could call right away, shit like that. 911 and stuff. It's actually had some real good safety features. But Dean Cain is playing this guy, Jeremy Stanton, and he's driving and it seems casual. He's talking to his wife, and then he starts having like flashbacks, and it's like clear that he was involved in like a robbery or a crime, and you don't know all the details, but as the movie goes on, you kind of put together that this guy's on the run. And he's an interesting actor, Dean Cain. I guess he's controversial. I didn't know that, but like I liked him. I thought he was really good. I guess back in the day he almost played Superman, or he did play Superman in a TV series and was short-lived, but he's a really good actor. And I honestly was captivated by him as well. It's kind of a thing about Adam Scott. He wasn't like jump off the wall, like fucking get this guy an Oscar actor type, but like he, for the type of movie, was genuinely like the right cast. He's a guy, it's kind of a one-man movie too. He's driving around in his car. There's some other people involved, but it was a great psychological like road movie, thriller with some like light horror elements. But anyways, I won't tell you every beat of the movie, but the idea was great. It made me think of like a low budget idea just watching it, which is something I love about watching like older movies, but also movies that are low budget. Like something about a movie that you can tell was not filmed for like millions and millions of dollars. There's a lot of ingenuity going on a set like that. And there's a lot of like, how can we make this interesting and captivating? And the thing I liked about this movie Lost is that one, I love that aesthetic of like the desert, Southwest, even California, Mojave, whatever you want to call it, Arizona, New Mexico vibe. And it definitely served that. But it also had this, when someone's on the road, I've driven so much alone on the road between LA and here. I've driven out to Vegas many times. It feels like it's just there's something psychological going on when you're on the road that's just different. Like you can get kind of like road fatigue and like you get into your thoughts. Sometimes you listen to music, sometimes you listen to the road, sometimes you listen to fucking, podcasts. Like it's an interesting experience. Like a road trip is an experience. And it's one that like I honestly love a road trip, but like even like the idea of him getting lost, and he kind of gets into this almost like Kafka-esque situation where like the only way he can get out is if he calls this person on the phone to give him instructions, and he keeps driving up and down these roads and ends up at the same spot every time. It's like a nightmare. He cannot get out of where he's at. He's also being chased in the movie by like they kind of rob a bank in the movie, and he is getting chased by like the guy they tried to cut out of the deal, and he like gets the other guy and like kills his ex-business partner. It's like there's a lot of like little details, but it's very interesting because he's not only like kind of on the run, he's got to deal with his car like maybe running out of gas. And like, dude, like if you actually like have been in those situations, you're like, fuck, like I don't know if I'm gonna get to the next gas station. It's an anxiety-ridden situation. Like it definitely doesn't make you feel good. And like this movie did a good job at capturing that. Also did a good job at capturing that moment in time. Like '04 is an interesting year. A lot of things changed in 2004 because like I've said this many times, but I feel like decades, like yeah, like 1999 to 2000, not a huge difference like between culture. About 4 or 5 years into a decade, though, that's when culture starts to really take shape and you start seeing what the decade looked like. And I think that's when, like, you know, oh, the styles change or like the music has changed. Like what was popular 5, 10 years ago is no longer even in fucking like no one cares. There's this new shit that came up in this new decade, and like a new generation kind of comes up, you know, and it's interesting. I'd say '04 was that for the 2000s. It really was the year that like technology was booming, cell phones were booming. This like, you know, it was right before the iPhone, you know, maybe 4 years before, 3 years before. The smartphone changed everything with apps and everything being built into your phone. But this movie had that little slice in time right before people like were like, I'm gonna get rid of my flip and I'm gonna fucking get like, you know, something with a screen. And all the little technological things that he had in the movie, like I can't remember the other devices, but like it's all the little like I'd almost call them gimmick devices, you know. You remember you used to have the Walkman, you used to have the fucking, you know, calculator, all this shit. Now it's all your iPhone. That's kind of like the example I'm trying to like portray is that 2004, we were just on the cusp of like this massive boom in technology. So that movie did a great job at like I said, showing that. Anyways, interesting movie. It's on Tubi if you want to check it out. Lost 2004. I had enjoyed watching it. Really good movie. The next movie we watched this week, and we watched both these movies back to back. I watched The Room 2003. Tommy Wiseau, writer, director, producer, DP Todd Barron, starring Tommy Wiseau as Johnny, Juliette Daniel as Lisa, Greg Sestero as Mark. What can I say? If you don't know The Room is this independent film that got made by this guy Tommy Wiseau and his friend Greg Sestero, and the production is like a legendary Hollywood disaster. And this is just for people that don't know what it is. This is like an extremely like cult popular film. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but if you haven't, it is just as like it's a movie that's so bad it's popular. It was also marketed very well for how shitty it is. And honestly, like after watching it this time, like shitty is a subjective term. It's not a fucking great movie, but watching it this time, like I think it's because I saw the companion piece. I wouldn't call it a companion piece, but I'd say like if you're gonna watch a double feature, watch The Room, and then the next movie I'll talk about, The Disaster Artist 2017. Watching The Disaster Artist makes watching The Room even better when you go back, because The Room without The Disaster Artist is just this like really shitty movie. But with seeing the backstory they build and like the biopic elements of The Disaster Artist, which if you haven't seen The Disaster Artist, I'll kind of blend these two movies together. It's a film by James Franco. It's written by Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber, based on the book by Greg Sestero, the actor from The Room, and Tom Bizzle. Shot by one of my favorite DPs, Brandon Trost. Anyways, Franco is Tommy Wiseau, Dave Franco is Greg Sestero, and a bunch of other people in the gang are in this movie, kind of in their like, you know, posse. But The Disaster Artist tells the story about how Greg and Tommy met and actually made the movie and kind of like what led to the cult popularity. The Room is the actual movie that led to cult popularity. So The Room itself is just, it's such a ridiculous movie. I actually, in Tommy Wiseau's defense, do not think he's that bad of an actor. I don't think he was going to be leading man, but he could have been like Hollywood villain. There's that Peter Green actor, Stevie and I talked about him. Unfortunately, I think he just passed away, but he could have been like a Peter Green, or like he could have been a Frankenstein type vampire. Like a lot of the things that they kind of joke about in The Disaster Artist about who he could have been as an actor were very true. He would have been great in like a Die Hard, or like, you know, maybe even a Marvel movie as like the villain. I think his ego and maybe the way he thinks probably didn't allow him to do that. I think he wanted to be like the hero leading male, which I think is common for most people. They want to be the hero, right? They want to be the guy that is a good guy in the movie, or like the one who saves the day. And even watching the movie though, like Tommy's character, like honestly, this is the first time I watched like The Room. His character Johnny is getting played by like everyone around him, including his like, fiance, girlfriend. And it's just funny. Like it was the first time I watched it with the context of the disaster artist. Cause like usually I watch The Room, we watch like 20 minutes, like, all right, it was fun. Like, let's turn it off. This time we watched it all the way through and I was like intently watching it. We were just sitting around and I was like, fuck, you know what? Like it is actually not as bad of a story as I think it's made out to be. It is the bizarreness in like the some of the moments that are in there and some of the acting and just like the actual production are horrible. Like I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm just saying like they're just like objectively like the writing is shitty, the dialogue is shitty. It just doesn't really make sense. Incoherent, one may say, bizarre and incoherent. David Lynch-esque, which is a compliment. Almost like Twin Peaks-esque, where it doesn't make any fucking sense. It really never connects or comes back. It's just conversations and vibes. But the through line of Tommy's character Johnny being like emotionally manipulated by the girl is excellent. Like I hate to say it, like it makes sense. And like it ends in Johnny killing himself and like it does make sense. It's dramatic. It's over the top. It's like soap opera. Christine kept saying it's like a soap opera. It's like a telenovela. And I'm like, huh, like, Wiseau, like no one knows where he's from for sure. They think Poland. No one really knows. But maybe in his country, he did watch more like operatic television like that, where it was just over the top. Because that's kind of how his acting felt. I will say this though. When you watch The Disaster Artist, these guys really did believe they were making a great movie. They thought they believed in the script. When you watch The Room, you can tell that they were giving it genuinely trying to give it good performances. Nobody wanted the movie to be bad. They wanted it to be good. And I think that's like they're playing it so straight and serious. That's almost what makes it so makes the bad aspects of it so great is that it's just so fucking ridiculous. But anyways, The Room, watching it this time is like as bad as like the movie gets, like it's like, it's a popular movie for the wrong reasons, but like as bad as people may claim that it is actually genuinely a sincere movie. I actually liked it, and I might watch The Room again. And Christine, Stevie, and I, we all think The Disaster Artist is one of the funniest movies he's ever seen, which also would make me say this. I think that James Franco may be one of the funniest people out there. I know James has gotten a lot of shit. I understand I think he's paid his dues for what, he was alleged and all that stuff. I think he gets a bad rap and I understand, like, I'm not endorsing it. I'm not saying, what he did wasn't inappropriate or was inappropriate. I don't really care about that so much as like, I do care about that, but like I'm saying his art and who he is a funny guy. I mean, I've seen him lately trying to do this like web series almost. It's like through Instagram, but he's doing clips of him with this alien. And honestly, it's like almost like This Is the End-esque. And it's like, you know what? Like, I would love to see more James Franco and more of his humor because I do think that is like his gift to give is honestly comedy. He is an extremely funny fucking guy. And knowing that he's doing what he's doing right now, I feel like he's either like blackballed or like out of the Hollywood system for now. But like, I mean, I'm not entirely, and I'm speaking like, this is speculation on my behalf of what I think his career's at, but like, he's too good of a talent to just be like, this idea could have been a major movie if they would have just put it through the Hollywood system or maybe even independently financed. I think it's smart what he's doing is just he's got a gang of friends and it's his own little posse now, and they're going out and making this content. But what he was doing here, The Disaster Artist, as a writer, director, and actor, and maybe he didn't write this one, but as a director and actor, which is not an easy, feat, he like this movie was Oscar worthy. I'm not even joking. Christine, Stevie, and I say it all the time. James Franco and Dave Franco in this movie, there's some magic going on. He embodies Tommy Wiseau so much, and he also is able to just, I guess, make a great movie. That is as simple as that. I know he didn't direct The Interview. It's one of my other favorite movies, but that was shortly before this. And I think like whatever was going on in his life at that time, The Disaster Artist was perfect timing for him. 2017, this movie is absolutely like maybe one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I know like there's like people who say, oh, like Godfather, like Titanic. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like those are great movies too. Those are excellent movies. But this, for the type of movie it is and the story it tells, it's also a Hollywood dream story. It's about having success beyond all the odds, right? But this movie, like it just, if you're an artist or somebody who wants to be in Hollywood, this has probably got to be on like the top 5-year list. I'd throw like an Entourage type show in there too. The shows that get you gassed up or make you want to make a movie. The Disaster Artist is one of those movies. It'll make you want to make a film, and it'll also make you like believe in the, the Hollywood dream again. Let's just say that. Also, like looking at my cast list here, Josh Hutcherson. We love Hutchie. He's like a childhood icon, but he's also been in movies that we know people have made, and, like, there's something trolly about him. I think he honestly is a phenomenal actor. I think it's yet to be seen what he does, like, further into his career, but I love the Five Nights at Freddy's movies. I'm not a huge fan of the movies themselves, but I'm a fan of Hutcherson. But dude, his role in this movie, it's Hutcherson and Efron. They're in a scene. He plays like Denny. He's like supposed to be, I think he's supposed to be handicapped. I can't remember, but he's like this kid in the room. In the room, it's a different guy who plays him. But in the actual Disaster Artist movie, Josh Hutcherson plays this kid, and like he and Efron have this scene where like Efron like fucking threatens to kill him, and like it's just so fucking well done. It's such big comedy, it's such big laughs, and like honestly, it's just if you haven't seen it, just go watch this movie. I can't say enough good about it, and honestly, I'm laughing just thinking about it. I might even watch it again. Maybe I'll do another fucking room/disaster artist screening. Just go fucking completely indulgent this week. Maybe that'll cure my sickness. Who knows? All right. Movies, great. Room 10 out of 10. Disaster Artist 10 out of 10. Yeah. It's been shitty being sick, but it's been a good week. To end this pod, I think we're going to take a little read out of the filmmaker mindset. And like I do every time, I'm just going to go to a random page and we will riff from there. I like this one. And maybe I've said this one, I don't believe I have, but my work ethic attracts success eventually. I am proud of my progress, even if it's small. I think those go hand in hand. My work ethic attracts success eventually. I would say so. I worked so fucking hard in the last 5 years. Like between 2020 and there's so many like things that like were leading up to the movie that like you didn't see or like nobody ever saw. You know how many nights we went out and tested like fucking like the red camera and glass and just went out and shot, and it was simply for the fucking sake of just like getting better at shooting with it and like learning how to be a DP. Like I've been learning how to be a DP for like most of my life, but like I seriously like had the ability to invest in myself and the technology, and like man, my work ethic of just never stopping, staying, persistent and doing my due diligence as far as like learning how to be a filmmaker, like just like teaching myself. Like I did go to film school, but like education doesn't stop when you get a fucking degree. It keeps going. You got to get the experience. You got to learn how to do this craft and also this art. It's more of an art than it is a craft. But like for me as an artist, I needed to learn some of the more technical aspects to actually get ahead in this game. And I think that work ethic has attracted the success because all of it compounded. I've talked about this a lot, but like it's like when I was a kid and I'd play guitar, I was like, God, I'm good, but like I wonder how good I'll be when I turn 20. And then I was like, I wonder how good I'll be when I turn 25 or when I turn 30. At this point, like I can play guitar. I'm like, wow, I can play like any song I really want to fucking play. Yeah, there's some shreds I can't do, but like that's how I'd attract even to compare work ethic. The harder you work and the more you fucking care and the more time you commit doing this instead of that other thing that's going to just distract you and lead you nowhere, you will win. You will be fucking better and it will help you like actually fucking. And this is like, once again, this like information is like, I'm talking about filmmaking. You'll be a great filmmaker. You'll get some like results, but even in your life, work like you are fucking in competition with other people. Cause yeah, you kind of are. Life is a competition to some extent. I won't say it's all just fucking brutal, like, warfare, but like you are trying to do something great or be, somebody or whatever you're trying to do. Like you got to just fucking put in the time. Otherwise you're going to get outworked. Someone's going to lap you. Someone's going to be better. And someone's going to have, they're going to be a fucking, a couple feet in front of you, a couple steps ahead of you in the race. Right. The other quote here, I am proud of my progress, even if it's small. I mean, I will even say this, doing the podcast is a weekly show. I know I've been a little bit more every 10-day show lately, but it is a small step of progress every single time I do it. I got to do some video fucking footage. I got to edit. I got to fucking, continue to work on my technical skills, making a short film or even just filming test footage. I do a lot of stuff. I build a lot of LUTs. It's all, like I said, it all compounds. So all this small shit, this progress is success. It's all building up. And you just got to fucking, you kind of got to be all gas, no brakes. I like to fucking play a little bit, but like, I actually just enjoy the work. The work is where it's at. And like, even hearing this shit, like I'm saying right now, it's gassing me up because I know my potential and I know that if I tap in hard to the fucking like success channel, that I can just fucking get it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So getting really close to starting to shoot this new movie. I don't have a script written, and we've been going back and forth. I'm like, do I write a script or not? Now that I have this outline, I think I'm ready to go. I think I might spend tonight, tomorrow, and the next day just writing the script. I think I can do it in 3 days. I'm going to just sit there and fucking write until it's done. I'm going to shit this script out. And then, honestly, I'm just going to give it a tune up. I don't know how, look, the script, once it's done, great. But I trust the actors. I think they can improv this thing and bring it to life, excuse me, based on the pages I have. And we can discuss it and go from there. I mean, it just, how tight does a movie need to be to make it look like, I don't know if I even want it to be that polished. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's something about it just kind of happening and being real. I think that's the vibe I'm trying to actually capture on this, especially with this horror tone. We watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre a lot. We watched this past week as well. We'll do a mega pod on that sometime, but the actual original 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, it just it's not it doesn't feel too planned out. It just feels like it's happening. And I think that's what we're trying to capture even going into the next thing. So I digress. It's been a long fucking week. I've been a little sick, a little exhausted. There's been some good between the the lows of feeling sick, but mostly good. And I think once I get past this sickness, I think everything's gonna fucking be amazing. And I do feel good. I feel relaxed. I feel calm. I feel way more at peace. Moving sucked. I'm sure if you watch those episodes, you can tell. We've been enjoying, I call it the honeymoon period here at the cabin. And I think that, everything's up from here. Anyways, guys, I think that's about all I got. It was really good talking, just fucking chilling and being able to fucking connect with you all. Anyways, I'm Devin Thomas, and this has been an episode of Unscripted. I'll talk to you all next week. Peace, guys.